Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever this video finds you, I hope you're having a rad time. I'm the Figure Dude, and today we have a massive unboxing from eBay. Without further ado, let's talk about some figures. Dude. Welcome back. Like I said, today I have a huge haul that I got from eBay, and this is definitely the largest lot that I've picked up in a while. I'm so excited. I was on vacation and I got an alert from eBay that I had something I was watching was ending, and when I looked at it, there was one bid, and then I bid, and that was it. Only two people bid, and it was a little more expensive. It wasn't like I paid like $270 after tax and shipping and everything, but there's so much in here that it was really easy for me to justify the cost. And I know that like if I want, I could just sell a couple things from here and I could get a decent chunk of change. So like, I don't know what else to say. I have a massive box. I'm just gonna take stuff out one by one and we'll see what we got. All right, so I opened up the big box that it came in, and I felt when I picked up the box, I could tell things weren't packed super tight, but it didn't seem like they were flying around everywhere. So they're in a Jordan shoebox here. So I'm just gonna get everything out. Well, I'll just grab one by one. So they're in the shoebox. Outside of that, they're just in there loosely. So everything looks good just at a quick glance. It looks like we got everything that I saw in the pictures, so that's a huge plus. I always worry when I spend up a little bit on a lot, I want to make sure I get it all. I don't want to get ripped off, so that doesn't seem to be the case, but we'll get through things one by one. So first off, we just have a set of stairs. I don't remember which ring these go to. I know that I have this set, and I have a few different sets, so you know, I'm pretty sure we get like one set of stairs when we do get things. So that, you know, I do plan to kind of move my setup, and adding another set of ring steps is not a bad problem. So we're just going through, and I'm not going to sit and talk about these every single one specifically. There's a lot of stuff in here that was from when I was not collecting, so I don't have a lot of these for my actual collection, which that always adds a lot of value for me. When I buy big lots of things off eBay, I really only, like, it could be a lot of 70 figures, but if there's only 15 elites in there, then that's all I really care about. Basics I can always scrap parts from, but elites are what I really like base the value of a lot of lots off, which, fair or unfair, I mean, that's just kind of how I look at it. But first off, we have the first Elite Cesaro, which has been in my collection a few times. I have this one. I think it's a really cool figure. I like the leg things on him. A lot of elites in here. And this lot is all elites. There's no basics. Every single one in here is an elite. Next up, Elite Alberto Del Rio. I want to say that's like 43 or something. I think we've gotten multiple black attire Alberto Del Rios. Here's an Elite Ryback in his red attire, which I do not have. I have the black attire, and then the blue, and maybe that's all of his elites. I don't remember. But I think his are good, and that body's always good for customs too, so if I decide I don't need that anymore, I can go ahead and use it for a custom. Next up, we've got another Elite Undertaker to add to the collection. I don't have the short mohawk hair Undertaker. I don't know why. I don't think that's what originally came on this body. I think he had the Paul Bearer attire, the rest in peace Paul Bearer attire, but I never know. There's so many Undertaker elites, and the attires don't vary that much. It's just a little bit of difference on the tights, obviously. Here we go. We've got another Elite Sheamus, and I just talked about in one of my PG collection showcases how I really like this Sheamus, but now I've got a double of it after not having one for so long. So I've been thinking about making an Alexander Wolf custom for his time in Imperium, and he has that white skin tone, so maybe that'll be an option. Next up, I didn't even know this was a thing. We have another Elite Sin Cara. I didn't know that there was a red Elite. I thought there was only... We gotta adjust this a little bit. There we go. I thought there was only a red basic, so that's really cool. I've talked about, I think in the PG, one of my PG showcases, where I talked about how good I think Sin Cara Elite figures are, and I have like 3 of them. I can't remember which ones off the top of my head now, but just adding another one to the collection, so I probably won't use that one for parts. This one, I don't know what I'm going to do with. Use it for something. But here's another Elite Brock Lesnar. Okay. Not quite as short as Sin Cara, obviously. We're going to go ahead and just adjust it like that. You know, it doesn't look like we have too many short guys, so we'll stick right here. We've got an Elite Lesnar. I already have this one, and I have it with the decals on the shorts too. So we'll find a use for him. Maybe I'll just make an MMA Brock Lesnar or UFC Brock Lesnar. Here's another Macho Man. I already have this figure. Great figure. He is definitely going to get used for parts. Between all the gold, the short calves, the boots, the torso, that is prime custom usage right there. Next up is the John Cena that I used to have, and then I use him for parts as well. This is his red attire from WrestleMania 27, I think, when he fought The Miz. So, going to give him some of the upgraded wristbands, armbands. Find a t-shirt for him to add to the collection. Ooh, I looked at this one for a second. I thought it was a basic. And now that I look at it more, I realize I don't have this one. Was this Elite 31 maybe? Kane? This has the molded on detail, which I didn't even know was a thing. I would have picked this up a long time ago if I knew that we had a Kane like that. That is pretty rad. Whoopsie, let's get that red off the bottom there. Okay, we'll stick right there. So, this Kane, I think this one is the one that came with the mask that he wore briefly. I think. Or maybe this one came with the tag team belts when he was with Daniel Bryan. I don't remember if this is the return Kane or not, but it looks awesome. I don't know which series it is because I didn't know there was one that had the stuff on it. Moving right along here, we have another Elite, and it looks like this one is the original, which so like I said, this is almost all these are kind of like prime PG era. So we've got the Halloween Rey Mysterio again, and this one is the original. It does not have double jointed arms, and I don't know if the mask had true effects with the re-release, so it pretty much looks the same. The arms are just single jointed, so I think that's a beautiful figure, and with the black pants especially, that is prime custom parts there. Next up is one that, while it really it's not like it's my childhood, it's very nostalgic because we have the Elite that got me into the Mattel line. We've got the Elite Rock, and like I said, a lot of this, I'm rehashing a lot of stuff from the one of my PG collection videos, and this Rock was one of the first figures I saw where I was like, man, these figures have come a long way. Like, these look so good from when I was collecting Jacks. And I eyed up a few different Elites at Walmart. Like, I saw Cesaro, but I didn't know who he was. And I saw this and I was like, shoot, I'll grab it, like put it on my desk or something. It's cool. And then here we are. So, cool grabbing this one. I don't know what I'll do with it. I've already made a custom Final Boss Rock. And there's not a lot of guys that I can think of that would use his, like, the parts for that figure. So he'll just go in a bin, sit around for a little bit. Maybe I'll give him some new decals, maybe do a different rocket tire. I don't know. I'll find something. I didn't necessarily buy him for this, or buy this lot for him. Next up, I'm looking at this and I swear the kick pads are on the wrong legs. I'm almost positive. We have the Elite Miz in this gray attire, which I think is one of the best Elites we've ever gotten of the Miz. I had this before, and for some reason I decided to break it down and use it for parts. Early on in my customizing days, my fodder bin was much more scarce, so I made some business decisions that ultimately I ended up regretting, but I'm very excited to have this one back in my collection. But like I said, I'm pretty sure these are backwards. I think the awesome is supposed to be on the outside. It just doesn't look right. Something doesn't look right. So I think they need to be swapped back around. But no big deal. Nothing a little hot water won't fix. But I really like this attire. Most of the Miz's we get are black. Or like we've gotten him in some white attires, but this gray one I think looks really good. And I like this head sculpt for Miz. Kind of got his shadow or beard on there with just the like combed back hair, and it was always one of my like kind of underrated figures that I liked in my collection. This one I got the idea like after I was just kind of looking back. I went to look back and see what was in the lot, and I've talked before when I made my Creed brothers. Sometimes I try to get a little too cute with the formula. I'm trying to figure things out. And this one I think is almost perfect. I got a new Elite Tensai, and I already have them in my collection. I don't need two Elite Tensais. What I'm going to end up doing is using him to make Mark Davis from Aussie Open. So everything I need is right here. The torso is bigger, but it's not huge. It's not like the Samoa Joe torso is really wide compared to this one. This one still is more kind of just like thick, but not massive. And then he's got the trunks on, like he's got the biker shorts. He's got big knee pads, and then he's got kick pads. So I just have to repaint this in black, get rid of the tattoos with some acetone or nail polish, and then obviously we're going to swap the head off and everything. But this is tailor-made for a Mark Davis. So once that idea kind of popped in my head, I was pretty excited. I think height-wise, it should be pretty good because he's like 6'3", 6'4", something like that. So maybe I'll swap like the knee pads or excuse me, the kick pads. Like I'll swap a couple things maybe to get the height correct, but I think that's going to be perfect for him. And I want to get around to Aussie Open. I think we're about halfway through this box, so buckle up. Next up, we have an Elite Stone Cold, and I don't know what one this is. With this face, with this head sculpt, my guess would be the ringside exclusive. No, because I think that one had red knee pads. I don't know. It's not swappable. I don't know what set we would have gotten this one. I don't think we've ever gotten Stone Cold. Like, we've gotten Stunning Steve. We've gotten different Steve Austins. We have not gotten Stone Cold in the Elite line. I think it's always been like a sub line, but I always love getting this torso, plain arms, the lower legs. Like, Stone Cold is prime real estate for customizing. Like, those are some of the best figures that you can get if you're just trying to pick up fodder pieces. Next up is another one that I once owned and swapped and ended up getting rid of for parts, is the Triple H from WrestleMania 28, I think, when he fought Triple H. I'm pretty sure this was his attire, which I think he also had black arm tape. So I think there was like a black version and a white version that he wore at some point. So I will be swapping this off because I know I had the basic. Maybe that's just what I'm thinking of. I'll swap these off. I'll put on the black tape just because it's a different look for Triple H. And, gosh, I'm trying to think of what, if he had some entrance gear. I don't know. But now that I've been going back in the collection, just trying to fill stuff in, I've been picking up a lot of the older Elites that I ended up using for parts originally. So that's a cool one to get back. Here's a cool one, which is a little less cool because we've gotten so many of him lately, but here is the ringside exclusive all pink Bret Hart, which for a while was a very hard figure to pick back up on the secondary market. Very pricey figure. Doesn't come with the rubber jacket, but that thing was rock solid, and I still have this figure anyway. So I don't know what I'm gonna use this for. It almost feels wrong to break this down for parts, but I think I have an all pink Bret Hart. Yeah, I do. The Ultimate Edition. So I don't know. These are some, like, this torso is a great customizing piece, and the pink leg, just this whole lot. I was so excited to pick this up, which again, because I thought it was such a good deal, I was worried that it wasn't going to show up or I was going to be missing stuff, but it looks like it's all here. Next up, we have a Randy Orton Elite. This is with the green look on there, and it looks like these are a little off. Like, look how low it is on this side. It doesn't look right, but that's all right. We're going to repaint this. I already have some decals I wanted to do with the custom Randy, so I'll just go ahead and use this figure. Maybe swap the head. I don't know. I think this is a good head sculpt. I've repainted it before, make it look a little better, but I think that's a good Randy head sculpt. Never upset picking up Randy Orton figures. Holy moly. I haven't even gotten to, like, the good stuff yet. Next up, we have an Elite Jericho. And this was, I have this one. I picked it up a while ago. There's a few Jericho attires. I can't tell if the joints if they're kind of loose, or if the ratchet joints are about to break. So I'm not going to maneuver. That's one thing with this wave, like this era figure, the ratchet joints. Some of them are god awful because it was earlier in the line. So at this point, they're getting a little bit older. Some of them just do not move well. But this Jericho, like I said, I have this one already. But I think did we get two versions of this? Like not a chase, but like a different look on this attire. Maybe, I don't know why I think that. I could be wrong. But I can always find stuff to do with Jerichos. There's a lot of attires. Next up is an R-Truth, which is this what the new greatest hits? I feel like that's what this is based off of. Was this Elite? I'm not sure, but I can always use these parts. I think this torso is the same color as Apollo Crews, which we don't get very often. That's like the real dark skin tone. So it's cool that we get a unique piece kind of with this torso. And then, I mean, pants wise here, I don't know what we're going to do, but, I mean, fodder is fodder. You build it up so you have the pieces when you're ready. Next up is an Elite Dolph Ziggler, and every Dolph Ziggler is a good figure for customizing. His parts translate well. This one, I had a couple ideas, and now I can only think of one. And I don't think I'm going to go with it, so I'm not even going to tell you guys. But this Dolph Ziggler, obviously, he's got the like trunks instead of the like small tights. He's on ball joints. He's got the plain torso. These arms I really like. I wish they'd use them more. The white boots. Like, these are the smaller calves. Just a solid pickup. I have this one. This is what he wore when he won the world title with the Money in the Bank. And you can like kind of see, you can't really. There's like a little shimmer, but I put like a metallic purple on it because they were more like glittery metallic kind of look. So that's what mine looks like in my collection. This is the one that I was super excited for. This Kofi Kingston Elite right here. Is it like Ghostbusters themed? Like Slimer? Is that this attire? I'm not quite sure. I think this was the first time they used this torso instead of the like Seth Rollins size torso, which this came way before Seth Rollins, so it's kind of weird saying that. But I don't really have a good figure of this era for Kofi Kingston, so I was excited to pick that up. And the attire, like the red, the green, and the orange just pops. So I really like that. I think the head sculpt too is very good for Kofi for this time period. Next up is another one I talked about slipping through my hands on the PG era showcase, so I'm pumped. I'm way more pumped than I probably should be. But I've got the Elite Wade Barrett that I'm pretty sure came with the Intercontinental Intercontinental belt that came with this figure. So there are some belts in here too. So I assume that this was the one that came with Wade. So we'll just throw it on the shoulder here, so I can retire my bad Wade Barrett head or custom that I have on my shelf. I think this one looks fantastic. I think it's a very good Elite. I think that's about the only figure where that torso actually works. Speaking of that torso actually working, we have the Elite JBL, which is, I don't know if that's the same wave, pretty close to it, because I remember seeing him on the shelf as well, and I did not have a JBL like this when I was collecting Jacks, so this was one that I had bought also. Like, I think it sat at Walmart for a little bit. I don't remember. I picked up a few. But this one, I don't really like the head sculpt. They've done much better just for JBL specifically. But in the Jacks days, I only had a JBL that had long pants. And I don't know why. I don't think he ever wore long pants as JBL. But that's what I had. So this was one that at the time was good, but I've made a better version just for myself. But again, we've got just some plain parts. We can use it for customs. Here's one of my favorite wrestler. We have the Elite 19, or possibly Lost Legend Shawn Michaels, but guessing by the rest of the lot, I assume it's Elite 19. This one came with the gear accessory, and while I'm at it, I can see the bottom here. I'm just going to grab the rest of the belts. I think this Shawn came with the European Championship, which, let me look, is in here. So we've got the European Championship. I have plenty of those. So, I mean, you can never have too many belts. You can always add them to people. We've also got a United States Championship. We have the classic Winged Eagle belt. Then after Winged Eagle here, we have the Attitude Era belt, which I don't know who... oh, that probably came with the Stone Cold figure. We've got the Scratch Modern WWE Championship, which came with that Rock figure. We have a World Heavyweight belt, which came with Dolph, I believe. And then the WWE Championship, which I was looking through the pile here, and I'm not really sure who that came with. I have a couple ideas, but we'll have to get to the end of the video to see. Next up, we have an Elite Matt Hardy, which I have this one. I think it's such a cool figure. I like that. I've used this before. I've used those lower legs because they have these shorter boots. And instead of using that like rotating kick pad upper, they have just the kick pad, which I kind of wish they'd do more. This has like the elevated kick pad on top of it too, which I really like this mold. I think that adds to, there's a few guys I've done that I feel like it adds, it makes it look a little bit better. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, we've got 7 left, almost there. If you've stuck around, I appreciate it. I've definitely saved the best for last, even though I've been extremely happy with what I have shown off here today already. Next up, we have a Daniel Bryan. This is in his Yes attire, which, I mean, it's not his only Yes attire. But I don't have this one. So another one we're adding to the shelf. So I've picked up a lot of stuff I'm going to use for customizing, but I've picked up a lot of stuff that I've just wanted to add to the collection. So, like, these all came out to well under $10, like maybe $8 a figure, which is a massive steal for almost all of these. I don't think you could get any of these for let's just say for $9. I don't think you're going to pick up any of the ones I've looked at so far for just $9. Maybe that Rey Mysterio. Maybe you could find that on a clearance sale somewhere. I think I actually did that on Black Friday on Ringside once. Next up, we have another, I don't know why I said another. We have an Elite Christian. And this figure I really like. I think that the parts they use for him are pretty good. I always felt like they made his proportions a little small though. But I just made a swerve figure using Christian, so I might end up making a second. But no matter what I do, like these legs and calves and everything are awesome pieces for customizing. The last 4 figures here were easily the favorites. I said I really liked that Kofi. I really liked the Wade Barrett, those were high on the list. But the 4 here are all figures that I've like actively searched and waited for on eBay and just not picked up because of the price. So first one here is an Elite Damian Sandow, and I have one, but it's from when he won Money in the Bank, so not when he first started his Savior of the Masses gimmick. I really like this one. It's got the purple trunks, the light purple knee pads, and I just think it looks really cool. The one that I have is in the black trunks with, I think, black trunks and purple knee pads, which, like, it looks fine. I think the formula is good for him. I enjoyed his character in WWE even before he was doing the stunt double stuff. So I've wanted another Elite of him, but they're like about normal retail value, like in the 20s, low mid 20s, which isn't crazy, but I got it for well under that. So really, really excited about that one. This one, I'm very excited for. I could see some people kind of scoffing at it, but this is probably the one I was most excited for. So I've been trying to chase down this Diesel with the gray top for a long time. I missed out on this, and then I think this was this Elite 16 when he was split case with the Outsiders Nash. So I didn't get either of those. And this one is just, it's different. I have like 4 other Diesel figures, but they're all in all black attires. And I really wanted this one, and we are getting it in the greatest, or from the Vault line. And obviously that one, he's got the updated arms. He's got the True Effects heads. Well, now that I say that, I don't know if he has True Effects. I feel like he doesn't. But either way, being able to get this for the price I did, and having to sacrifice double jointed arms was not the end of the world for me. Maybe I'll get that Vault one down the line, but I also could just swap on some arms and throw some decals on it, and I could be happy with that too. So this is one of the pickups. Like, I've been waiting. I have an Elite Diesel search saved on eBay that I check semi-regularly to see if I can find one of these for a decent price. So this was a massive score for me. I was really, really excited. This was like what attracted my eye initially when I was just like going through the lot. Next up, we'll just put these two on together, and I'm pretty sure this is where we got our WWE Championship here from, but we have the Elite Chicago Cubs attire CM Punk, which I think is a beautiful figure, which I do have, but the CM Punk that I picked up, I got loose for like $27 on eBay a few years ago, and his boot, like one of his kick pads, was clearly bit and chewed on by a dog. So I can retire that one. And then I also got an Elite Cody Rhodes, which I did not care that much about Cody Rhodes when I first had this figure, and I thought his legs were too big. So I cracked the crotch piece. It wasn't pretty. I got the legs on there that I wanted, but I wanted to pick this up again. I just didn't want to spend a lot on it, and Cody figures have shot up a lot in price. So that is it. That is everything. I guess I didn't count in total, but I'm pretty sure the listings had like 32 wrestling figures, and then we've got the belts and those stairs thrown in. So for me, like I said, it felt like a huge steal. My rule of thumb is that if I can get figures as a total for less than $10, I'm pretty happy with that. If I saw these by themselves at my local comic store for $10, I'd pick them up. So I'm happy. Like I said, that's one of the biggest unboxings I've had in a while here, and I've got another one coming in the next week. I think it already shipped. I got it from eBay, but that one is going to be fun as well. So looking forward to that. If you stuck around through the whole video, thank you very much. If you want to go check out more unboxings, I have a bunch on the channel just like this, as well as just some other smaller, different ones, head sculpts, different stuff for customizing. But outside of that, please continue to like, share, subscribe, and remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy more action figures. Figure Dude out.